I am Negan.
I am Negan.
I am Negan.
What's up, friends? Welcome back to I Am Negan. Oh, we got it on loop. It's okay. My name is Adam Vale, senior editor over at the Koalition and also the TV terminal here on YouTube. And I'm joined by editor-in-chief of the Koalition, Richard Bailey Jr. What's up?
What's up, Adam? What's up, listeners and viewers?
And Throwdown shows Carlos Romero. I can roll my R's.
Yeah. Yo, what up?
What's up is we are back. This was the episode. This is the episode. I hate talking to people who are like, Walking Dead still going, man. What are you covering? Who's doing it? Daryl Dixon, sucker. Jump into Daryl Dixon. This is the best spinoff so far, thus far, out of all the ones that we've had. Dead City, The Tales of the Walking Dead, World Beyond, Fear the Walking Dead, Kapooey. Spit on all of those fools. This is the show you should be watching. Tell your friends, your grandma, to all your other buddies that stopped watching Walking Dead proper. They're like, I'm done with it. No, you're not. Come back. This was it, people. This episode here. This one, Frontier Justice. This is episode 4 of season 3. It's in Spanish, the title. I don't want to butcher it. So I'm just saying the English translation. This was a fantastic episode. I had to go on my rant on this. I loved it. It felt long. I thought when we were watching this, because people, how this works is we watch it together, we take our notes or whatever, and then we jump in and then we just break this down. I could have swore this was over an hour long, right? This felt long.
Well, you know what they say, time slows when you're having fun.
That is true. That is true. Put that on a t-shirt, man. Yeah, this is it.
I mean, it did feel longer than the rest of the episodes, but I mean, it could have been that it might have been slightly longer. It's interesting because the action
49 minutes.
Makes things go
49 minutes. That's
49
minutes. At least, yeah.
Well, it's not too much longer than the other ones, but yeah, like it's interesting because there was a lot of action in this episode. Usually, action in episodes makes everything go faster. But this one, it's like, it feels like there was like a lot of locations, a lot of different things going around, so many characters. So, there's a lot to digest throughout the episode. So,
and not only that, long montages. Like that was the other thing. It wasn't so much of just with the action. Yeah, that was long too. Because usually the action sequences are bang, 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 bang. No, this was like, wow, they're still mowing these firewalkers down. What like 5 minutes in? Oh boy, they're moving. Oh, they're still doing it. But hey, everybody, if you haven't watched it, it's on AMC Plus, AMC proper. By the time this airs, you should have just watched it, or you're jumping online. It's like, hey, should I watch it? Yes, the answer, you should watch it. Go watch it, come back, and put in the comments what you think. Did you like the show? Do you like Daryl Dixon? Do you like The Walking Dead? You better watch. You better to all three. All three. I'm so happy. I'm too happy. I'm too happy because when it comes to Walking Dead, we always talk about it, right? It's an IP that we enjoy. Obviously, we're still covering this show with all the spinoffs. We've seen some bad spinoffs. We've seen other outlets that used to cover it, and they walked away. The spinoffs were so damn bad. They're like, my numbers are horrible. There's no point in covering this. But we're still here because we love it, and we know eventually we're going to see that diamond in the rough. Something's just going to... It's got to work. And I think that's why AMC keeps pushing these out. Same thing. It's like throwing spaghetti at the wall. One of these has to stick. And Dead City season 1, yeah, Dead City, it fell right off the wall. Whoop, fell off, right? So hopefully season 3, when that comes back. But man, Daryl it's been working for us. We've talked about it. We've covered all the seasons. We loved it. Season 1, France. Season 2, France. 3, They teased England, but nope, we went straight to Spain. That's the only poo-poo so far that we've had with this. But man, this was a great episode. Not just for the action, but just for everything. It just makes sense. A lot of it just fits, especially with how Daryl, his approach to everything. Mr. I'm not your hero. I'm just alpha numero uno type of deal. I just want to get back to the States. Let's help these people. Let's save this. Let's stop this problem. No, Carol, stop it. But let's get into this episode, man. Well, so we start off where we left off. Right? Daryl, Roberto show up at the town. This is right after Christina made the decision to just give up herself. She's like, nah, you know what? I don't have any family. No one cares about me. Let's just scrap the past few episodes where I've been saying I love Roberto and I did run away with him and then came back. And you know what? I'm done. I'm going to go and give myself up to this new boss leader here who's going to give my village protection. So she leaves with the guy and she's gone. Roberto, Daryl shows up. He's in shock. How could this happen? Why did she love me? She loved me. I was waiting for Daryl. I was like, she didn't love you enough. Come on, get to the boat. But no, he should have. I mean, if there's one thing we've learned in this episode with the back and forth conversations with Carol, he's over love. After everything that happened with Isabella, shout out to Isabella. I saw that actress recently on King and Conqueror over on it's a UK show, and I was like, oh, I know this actress. Where is she from? It's Isabella. She's out there working, doing her thing. But he's over it. He's over love. He's super bitter right now, and he doesn't want to hear it. But yeah, she's flipping. Roberto's flipping out. Can't believe this has happened. And then the credits roll. But real quick, are you surprised by this reaction, Rich? I mean, it's kind of funny, but it's like, were you surprised at all that he flipped out?
Oh no, I expected this, and I'm glad that this episode picked up immediately after the last episode. So you saw his reaction to what Justina had decided to do. So
yeah, it wasn't too much. It hit the intro, get back, then we're right back at it. Daryl's inside the house, scavenging, grabbing some stuff. Antonio's cool with it. He's like, yeah, take whatever you need. He's like, all right, fine. I'll take this table. I'll take this knife. He just like put all this stuff. And he's like, oh, how long is it going to take for you to go? He's like, oh, about like 2-3 weeks once we fix the boat and stuff. Yeah, then we're out of here. And the main reason why Antonio, which is Roberto's dad, is concerned, because he wants to know how much time he has with his son. Because his son, from what we know before all this happened, he was leaving. He was going to go with them. So he's all concerned about that. Were you concerned about it, Carlos? Did you think this was a big deal?
About Roberto leaving what?
Yeah, they're leaving the town. Like, do you think when this happened, did you say, oh, wow, he's going to back out. He's not going to go? Because I instantly thought, while Antonio's over here worried that it's like, oh, well, they're leaving. And you can see it on his face. He doesn't really say it, but you can see it on his face. The only reason why he cares about how long it's going to take is because it lets him know how much time he has left with Roberto. But when all this happened, I did not think Roberto was going to get on that boat. So I'm like, don't worry, Pops. I don't think his son is going anywhere.
Yeah, after what's her name, Justina left, there was no way he was going to leave without her. I mean, that's the whole premise of the season, which started off with those two in the little creek. So yeah, there's no concerns there. I mean, obviously we all knew that, eventually it's going to lead to them going to the Alcazar to try to get them. So yeah, definitely not a concern at that immediate point, but it eventually led to what we expected at the end.
Yeah, exactly. And in fact, right after that, once Daryl walks outside, he sees Roberto's like, come on, we got to go. We got to fix the rudder. We got work to do. He's moaning. He's doing all that stuff. He doesn't want to go. All right. He doesn't want to do anything. And Daryl's like, you know what? Whatever, man. Let's go. Come on, Carol. We got things to do. And I love that. I love that he's not doing the typical, all right, let's sit down. Hey, don't worry about it, man. There's plenty of fish in the sea. Hell, we're going out on the sea. You can see a mermaid. You believe in that ish, right? You know what? No, he doesn't try any of that. He's like, come on, we got to go. Oh, you don't want to go? F you. I'm out of here. I hate this. I want to go eat my hot dog on the boat. I want to go back to the States. I made a big mistake leaving the Commonwealth. I should have never left. Whoopsie. Now let's get back. But, he heads out. There goes that. We get with Carol now and Daryl and hanging out with the people at the boat. They have a truck. This is with the boat lady. That's what I wrote down. I forgot her name, but we got Cooper and her other boy toy, who she doesn't even mention in this one. Talks a lot about Cooper, but not so much about the other guy. Right? We'll call him Jabroni too. So they pull the boat. out, and we get the montage. This was a pretty lengthy montage of just them fixing the boat. They all know how to fix this boat. We know Boat Lady, she knows how to do it, but Daryl, Carol, everybody's picking up pieces, putting things together. They got it propped up. Really cool. I just finished watching Rocky 4 with my son because he's getting into boxing. So I was like,
You gotta ring the bell.
Gotta ring the bell. Ding, ding. Right? So we watching a Rocky, and I forgot how many music video type montages are in Rocky 4. Go ahead, if you rewatch it, it's like 4 or 5 where it's just sequences of Stallone driving and there's a song playing. It's a music video. He's training in Russia. There's a music video. He's in the back hanging out. There's a music video. I was like, oh man. It's like, what am I watching? This is just a bunch of music videos with little scenes that are not part of the video. Still a fun movie to watch. I still go with Rocky 1 and Balboa. Those are my 2 favorite. Man, Balboa 2006. Pull the tears. I love that movie. Oh, that was a lot happened that year. But so they're there. They fix this boat, right? And I'm trying to think what else. Anything memorable happened after this? They were fixing the boat. Oh, yes. Right. Because no, maybe not yet. Not yet. Because I was gonna say we have that scene, but that comes out later. Right. So now we have with Roberto and his dad. And Roberto's still upset by the whole thing. Can't believe this happened. I think the dad is already getting the hint that, oh boy, my son's going to do something stupid. He is going to go after this girl. We still don't know why. He sort of hinted why he's so against Antonio, so against his son dating Christina. Why? Why is this? My hint was that since it is a small village, maybe this is she's your first cousin situation, or we're not sure who the father is. I could be the father. It was a complicated situation with Christina's mom because remember she doesn't have her parents. We don't know the parents. So what did you think? Am I wrong on any of these? Do you guys have any of the same type of ideas? There's got to be a reason Antonio is so upset and like, no, you just can't be with this girl because she seems like a good girl.
Well, Roberto mentioned it during their conversation. He said it's because it's something between you and the mayor. There's something between the mayor and Antonio.
But this is why I think it's got to be something with the girl because of maybe they don't know.
Well, I think the first cousin thing is a little bit too.
It's a small village. That's a common thing in a lot of small.
That's how people survive. Yeah, that's how things keep going. But I think it has something to do with the wife, Roberto. What's his name? Antonio's wife. Mm-hmm. I think there's a connection between her death and the mayor. I think there might be something there, and that's why there's some tension, and that's why he hates him.
I think that's a good thought, Carlos. I was going to say there's probably something between his wife and the mayor that could have been a previous relationship between those two.
Oh,
because they like to add the Jerry Springer moments in this show with the the mixed relationship with the 3 different people. So I think that's a possibility that there could have been something because we don't know anything about the wife. She's not even a part of this story. She's passed on. So something definitely related to that, I think.
Yeah, that is true. That's true. I hope they bring it up, and when they do, it's juicy. It's got to be some village gossip. I'm really surprised we don't have that one person. Every town, every village, every area has that one. It's like, I'll tell you what happened. Come on, let's go have a drink. Let me tell you something. It's like, because it sounds like it's some serious drama between all of them. But anyway, we get back, still fixing the boat. Now it's just Daryl and Carol under the boat doing their thing. Carol's again talking about, man, this is real messed up about Christina. Oh boy, Roberto this, Roberto that. What? And Daryl doesn't want to hear it. Just stop it, fix the boat. I don't care. She's like, why don't you care? When do you care about love? And he's like, drops it to him. I'm out of here. I'm done talking all this stuff. But then this is the interesting part. This was the most interesting part of this whole thing, and we'll go into in depth on this one because it's a Boat Lady and Carol, right? Boat Lady and Carol talking about the plans of sailing to America. Boat Lady says, "Hey, one of my boy toys over here, Cooper. He's from the West Coast. He was out here on vacation and whatnot, but you could bring him. Bring him. He wants to go back." Daryl's like, "No, no, no, I don't want it." But Carol's like, "Oh, well, maybe." And they're going back and forth from the whole thing. And man, Boat Lady's like, "Hey, your boyfriend here, he's stubborn. He's stubborn." And play that audio. Play it, Rich.
Your boyfriend sure doesn't like taking advice, does he?
No, we're not
Really?
really.
You've never.
Never.
Nope. How's it looking?
Nope. And he walks away. Now, this is very important because for those who've been watching The Walking Dead since day uno knows, at least when the Carol and Daryl type day uno started happening, everyone's like, oh, they're going to get together, right? It's going to happen. Hell, even when they announced this series, it was supposed to be called Daryl and Carol. And they're like, oh, this is it. They're going to start a relationship. It's going to happen. It never did, and it's never been addressed. It's never been addressed or even asked in this way on the show, on any of the shows. No one's ever said, really? You guys never? This is the first time. So this is very important. This one scene for anyone that wants some trivia for Walking Dead trivia, be like, hey, yeah, the fans have always hinted at a relationship, but has the show ever hinted at a relationship? No, not till Daryl Dixon, Market, season 3, episode 4, with the Boat Lady. Boat Lady, she calls it out because she's used to having some things going on. She had talked about how it's not good to be alone, and that was how this whole thing led in. She's like, hey, it's good you have a companion. And, she lives in a lighthouse. She lived there alone for a while, but now, 10 years, she's not alone. Now she's got some people. But what did you guys think? Am I looking too far into it? I'm pretty sure this was a big deal because it hasn't been addressed. And now with him just saying nope and walking away, he did that's it. The door is shut. Don't bring it up again. Don't go on the forums and the message board. When are they going to kiss? When they get to America? No, he is not even entertaining that idea. That's what I took from it. It's like, no.
I'm not subscribing to any of that fan fiction, man. Keep that away. Daryl and Carol is a sacred platonic friendship. Keep it that way. That's how I don't want there to be any relationship tension with this. Not with these two.
I agree 1,000% with Carlos. We already got the Rick and Michonne Love Fest show,
Mm-hmm.
so we don't need to see any more of that.
And we got the Negan and Maggie, whatever the hell's going on with them.
Oh, I don't want to see that either. I'm done with that. I don't bring that up. Yeah, but it's definitely I see this as this is it. Boom. It's done. Stop. Don't bring it up again. Because he didn't do the side eye. He didn't just linger and stare at her. And he's like, well, no. Like plant that seed. Like, well, I never really thought about it. And then right at the end, when the Boat Lady's walking away, and she's like, well, all right, think about it. And she walks away. That can apply to both situations. Think about it as, maybe you should start something with this guy. You're going to be on a boat for what, 2-3 weeks? People get lonely. Or it could be, think about it, bring Cooper. Because Cooper, from what she said, he's good with boats. And he can navigate and that he could definitely help. Which is funny because first Daryl was like, no, he didn't want anybody. Then he was going to bring Roberto. Then Roberto looks like he's backing out of the whole thing. Well, Cooper seems more of a key asset to bring than Roberto, at least, because he knows how to fix the boat. He's familiar with sailing. These two don't know anything about sailing. Yeah, he's like, oh, we'll be okay. Really? And Carol even brings it up. It's like, we didn't do that great getting here. So I don't know. If I was Daryl, I'm going out on this big journey across the ocean back to America, I would want all the help I can get. So yeah, bring Carol, bring Cooper, and there you go. Move on. It's not happening with him and Carol. It's done. No more. Let it go. Not happening. All right. So we get a little bit with Cooper. Cooper speaks the English, as we know, and he's training the other guys and doing that whole thing. And just pointing out that he is useful. I don't know. But he does tell them about the situation. It was a dumb luck, he calls it, of how the whole thing happened, that here it is, he's stranded there, and then all of a sudden it's like a Gilligan's Island type of situation. A boat shows up, it's a bunch of Americans. Oh boy. All right, then let me help you fix this boat and let's go sailing back to America. But something happens here, man. What happens, Rich?
There is a brutal attack.
Oh, the return. I'm going to say the return because we haven't seen these people since they landed. Daryl and Carol landed on the shores here, because these are the same fools that were on the beach that would look for some. And out of no, this is a trope that a lot of shows do, a lot of movies, I should say, not even just shows. All of it, all of Hollywood do this. If you are going to attack people, don't run at them screaming. You're pointing out your location. And they're just screaming so loud, and it's like, okay, well, it's like just plucking them off. We got Daryl shooting. Go ahead.
That and do not bring an axe to a gunfight while you are screaming, because that's an easy target. They know exactly where you're at. If you don't know how to throw the axe, game over.
That is true. That is true. Because one of the things that they shot an arrow at Cooper that kills him, boom, right in the chest. But then after that, it's like all hand to hand. They're running up to with the axe and other stuff, and that's not working. I don't think Daryl took a single hit. Right? I don't think anyone touched him or grabbed him. They did not get close. He is just a one-man army. This guy now. He's got his axe, he's got his knife, he's got the gun, the arrow, whatever, a rock, doesn't matter. He's just dropping all of them. Carol's doing the same. The rest of the crew there, they're all firing back. It's just a bunch of these guys just attacking them on the beach, all screaming, just running at them, screaming. I don't get it. I don't get. Sneak around. We know this could happen. Sneak attacks work. We know this. Guerrilla warfare, right? Tom and Jerry. There you go. Why are you running at these people, screaming, giving away? And there was one lady that goes from his left, like Daryl's shooting on the right, and you hear, ah! And he turns and he shoots her, right? Yeah, thanks for giving me the heads up that you were on my left there, because you almost got me, but you wanted to go and scream, and we're done. Now you're sleeping in the dirt.
Yeah, I don't really understand their tactics, but I mean they're painting them as sort of primitive. I think that's what they call themselves also. But they're like primitive, type people who don't really rely. Well, no, they do. They had cars and stuff with that, which is the interesting part. So yeah, in some tactics they're kind of more loud and more primitive, and then other aspects where they're got trebuchets shooting fire zombies from across the world. It seemed like
they didn't damage the boat, at least not that I saw. Right, the boat is still propped up. I was
we still got a boat.
Yeah, I was expecting them to that was the whole thing. It's a Gilligan's Island type of thing. It's like, oh, the boat got damaged. We can't sail. I thought that's what was going on here, because they don't explain. We don't know, at least yet, why they were attacking them. We get it later on about why they're attacking the village. That makes sense. But why do you care about these Americans trying to get a boat together so that way they can go? I don't, what I mean? It's not like they're bringing precious cargo, or let's say Christina was the key to all this. Oh, their boss wanted Christina, and now she's sailing to America. No, Christina's not there. Roberto's not there. Antonio, nobody of importance is there. So this part didn't make sense unless it was to kill them to take the boat for themselves.
I think these people are very aware of who Daryl is, and they clearly they are coming after him. Even though they came after the group too. Remember, Daryl killed that other individual inside the actual village. So I think they clearly recognize this is an American. We need to take them all out. I think that's what they are intending to do. But again, as you said, they'd have to explain that further, because it made sense why they attacked the village, like you said. But yeah, I think that's what it is. But they got to explain it further.
Yeah, boat lady is sad. She's looking around. She's doing a head count. It's like, where's Cooper? Where's my favorite? And we know what happened to Cooper. We've seen this a million times already. Cooper does get up, but he's a zombie. He's a walker now, and Daryl just puts him down, just like he put down all the barbarian people running at him. Same way. You make a lot of noise, I can pinpoint you. And down that one goes. He gets sad. He goes up on a little cliffside, overlooks the ocean during the sunset. Beautiful scene there. But yeah, that was the first big action. So we got a big montage of them fixing a boat, and then we got this big action sequence. You would think that's it, right? Like, all right, we got our quotas, right? There's certain things you check off for every episode. I have to have drama, I have to have this, I have to have storytelling, little action. No, we're not, because man, this all hell breaks loose. And for the entire episode from here on, right? Because we got Cowgirl, she's taking a look out, just seeing what's happening. And then we see a bunch of convoys, bunch of trucks headed over to the village. The bells ringing, they're closing the gates. Everyone is grabbing a weapon. I didn't even know that they all knew how to shoot weapons, but I guess they do, because the mayor is right there handing them. They're like, all right, I got that one. Oh, that's my favorite one. Boop, boop, boop. They're getting ready. This is it. There's a fight coming. I did not see this happening. I'm very glad that it did. Go ahead.
We got the jam-packed action episode.
Yeah, and it's not even a finale. There's 7 episodes, people. This is not it. This is
4, right?
This is episode 4. Yeah.
We got 3 more.
Mm-hmm. All right.
Yeah,
so
I wasn't expecting it either. Because the previous scene we got a lot of action. So I was like, oh, so they go through that. They're gonna mourn Cooper. Poor Cooper, man. He got there was no time to mourn his death. He just straight to the action.
We got not even a minute of backstory. He was from California. He was out on vacation there, and now he wants to go back. It was just great. These people showed up. Now he's gonna help them, and even I was like, all right, you think you can get us back? Yeah. I mean, if we have good weather, we should be back there 2-3. That's it. That's like someone saying, don't worry, I have all the answers right here in my head. Oh no.
I'm spending this time of the episode to pour one out for Cooper. Shout out to him.
Pour it up. Yep. There we go. If the Talking Dead was still around, they would probably do a little montage just for Cooper, right? That's the key one here. But all right, so they get there and the gates are closed, but man, it seemed like wave after wave of these soldiers or barbarians, whatever, because these are the same guys. They're not so much the soldiers that were with the boss leader that showed up in town. These are the same type of people that were storming the beach, because they're doing the same screaming. They're running at it, they're banging it. They got walkers with them. They're flooding, and it's just an all-out battle outside of the village area, and it's chaotic. We're seeing a lot of crazy scenes, a lot of crazy deaths, people dying and fighting and stabbing, and Daryl, while he's at the boat, they're all there. They hear the bells. What's that mean? He's like, it means they're under attack. This is it. So he heads back there, and it was nuts. A lot of fighting, and just wave after wave after wave, to the point that another truck comes, rams right through the gate. Now, all these walkers and those barbarian people just running in, and everyone's fighting. There's death all over the place. Not a single one touched Daryl again, right? He's just stabbing. I put down arrows, knives, guns. He does it all, right? Because there was one guy came close, he stabbed him. Takes a gun, pistol, pow. Takes a shotgun, boom, boom, boom. He's just, all right, we get it. You are a badass. You are moving up the ranks.
This is the Daryl we deserve.
Oh man, this is the action hero role that every actor who wants to be an action hero hopes for, right? They all want that Rambo moment, the Arnold moment, the old. It's like, do we even get that anymore? Some people do. Jason Statham, he gets all those roles. He's the badass for all of those. Of course, The Rock does, but man, Daryl's like, Norman Reedus, like, I'm on that list too now. Look at that. I could just picture if someone's keeping track of the numbers of like, all right, how do you end up as an action hero star? What do you have to do? And that ticker is it's coming up for every kill. Every cool kill that he's pulling off in this episode, his numbers are rising up because he wants to get up there. Because this, I'm telling you, this, if people start watching this show, more people outside of the Walking Dead world, and say, wow, you want to see some cool action? You want to see another action hero? he could definitely make a run for it. He's got the voice, he's got the look, he's good with weapons. I could see him on that stage, and maybe they can put him in those type of films, right? I could see it.
You
But
obviously
do a
haven't seen
Western.
him in the Death Stranding series.
No. That's a video. No. Video games. I'd never played a video game, but yeah, no. He. That's a separate role. We've seen him in Blade. Remember, he was in Blade. Not that special. Boondock Saints. Everybody knows, but that's like decades old. Those films. I think he could work and handle a leading role in a certain type of film, maybe a Western or something, right? I can see him. He's got his duster on already. Just give him a hat. Just come into town. Are you the sheriff? I'm nobody's sheriff. And then they're like, well, we need help. We got Bandit. Not my problem. And then the guy pushes him. I'm your problem. Oh, now I got a problem. And he takes out that. I could see it. Let's advocate. Let's push him up there. Let's get him into the next level so that way he can start doing those films. He proved it. And I think AMC is trying to prove it. Hell, why not that? AMC, make a movie. Give him his own movie. Start doing that already. He already got his own show. You're making him invincible at this point, right? No one can touch him. No one can even get close to him. Oh, man. But it was a lot of action. And just when we think it's all done, they're doing a head count. Everything cool. Cowgirl's like, yeah, I look good. Everything is good. All right. It's quiet, right? He's like, yeah, too quiet. And then sure enough, fireballs from the sky, because now it's night, and it just boom, it lands on a bunch of the villagers. Oh, this was a very interesting.
This was the Spanish battle at Helm's Deep. A lot of similarities between the two, and I just when you thought the action was going to stop, it kept going on.
And
I don't know what their budget was, but they spent it well.
They got a secret investor who said, you know what you need? Well, you need some firewalkers. Listen, I just played this new game. I don't know if you ever heard of it, called Call of Duty Zombies. They got these zombies. Yeah, you ever heard of this? I think it's pretty new. There's these zombies, and they run around, and they can get set on fire and still run at you. Yeah, it's really cool. What if we did something like that? We don't have the budget. Don't worry, I got money for days. Here we go. Put the budget, get the stunt guys, whip them up, and let's do it. And that's what happened. You see the villagers first get burned, they drop, and then they turn into walkers and get up, and then they start running with the flames. It was awesome. That was such a great scene. Oh, and then you're like, oh, okay, this is done, right? Daryl shooting at him. And who was it? Was it Cowgirl or Carol? Somebody tossed him a machine gun, right?
Oh, Carol. Well, was it Carol who did?
What's or was it Cowgirl? One of them was also hurt when they tossed him the machine gun right before they got on the minigun. I could have swore it was one of them.
There's multiple people.
Yeah, there was everybody shooting. Go ahead, Rich.
Yeah, the mayor was on the turret, and then there was another gun with a whole bunch of arrows. That was where Roberto and Carol were using that gun too.
There we go. Yeah, it was. They fortified this one area, but somebody tossed them. It's like off camera, like, yo, here, take this. Boom, and boom, he's just hosing them. Oh man, that scene. I just had a Kool-Aid smile. I could not believe what I was watching because it was just wave after wave. It's as if like there was people running through the fire, dying, like, oh no, I'm not invincible. Fire hurts me, and then being reborn as a walker, right? Because I'm like, it looked like they only killed a handful with the first firebomb, but more firebomb was coming, and it just perfect landing. It was whacking and landing on all the other villagers and converting them all into flaming walkers. We got these little firefly walkers coming, and just, man, the whole thing with Norman Reedus is also that how he delivers and plays his role as Daryl, because he's not showing any expression. Right? He's not like, oh my God. He's not screaming. You're laughing, Rich, because you know it's true. You would think anybody's like, holy shit. So he's not. He's just like, oh, well, this is what I gotta do. He's just, it's almost hilarious because he's just mowing them all down. Then there's the mayor's on a minigun cranking that. beautiful shot where you see Daryl below, the turret up top, spraying all the bullets. It's at night. You see all the lights from the bullets flying. You see the flaming walkers, and you're looking at your watch. I'm like, man, this is still going. This was long. This probably one of the longest battles I've seen in the franchise. We've seen some, and they cut and then they go to different areas. There was, of course, with The Walking Dead when they had different fights at Commonwealth and Alexandria, different points. But this is all in one location, and it was just we saw two different waves. We saw the waves of the invaders, whatever, coming in. All right, got rid of them. Then we have now the waves of walkers who were with the invaders. And then now we got flaming walkers and invaders, because then as they died, that was the other thing. All the people that were dead start rising up, but they're catching fire as they rise up. So it was just, I was like, what are we seeing? This was awesome. Now, the gripe that I had way back when we started this show, when we heard that they were going to France, and we linked that back to World Beyond, the whole thing of running walkers. They've never gone back to that. The whole running walker had never gone back to it. We had some mutated walkers. Season 2, we saw some of that also, right? With the injections, whole thing. They left that alone. But this is cool. This was cool to see them morph, get set up on fire, and then just keep going. They're like, all right, I'm not going to jump. I'm a walker, but now I'm on fire, and I'm still coming at you. Fantastic. Oh, we keep going on this, but anything you guys want to say before we move on from this fight? This was epic.
I like the visuals. Again, them doing this location resulted in a great decision for the Daryl Dixon team, because man, this place, it gives the show a life of its own, which is appreciated. And yeah, I'm curious more of what the motivation was, because we'll get to it, when they got the prisoner, but I'm still kind of not sure what's the motivation to do all of this. I mean, obviously they're quote unquote savages, and they're trying to portray that, but there's a larger motivation that I still don't get.
Yeah, no, go ahead.
Yeah, I agree. We do need to discuss that motivation, but I will say, yeah, it was fantastic action. The cinematography was on point, and it was just very chaotic. It felt like it was nonstop chaos. Like anybody can go. My only real critique is none of the other supporting characters got killed. You did see the mayor. He did get stabbed.
Mm-hmm.
Trying to save those other people, and of course, a lot of the townspeople, they didn't make it, but. I was expecting to see a lot more people get taken out, but they were focusing on them just going to town left and right, taking walkers out, taking the other people out. So yeah, it was very exciting.
Yeah, like you just said, the mayor, he did get stabbed in the shoulder, but he survived. I think Carol took out the guy that stabbed him, and then she looked at him. He was concerned, but he pulls it out. Then later on, the guy's mom comes up, mio, and he's like, I'm okay, I'm all right. Stop it, Ma, you're embarrassing me. I'm the mayor, But yeah, that happened, and it was, oh man, there was so much. I just thinking back on it, I'm still shocked. I'm still shocked that happened. I hope this episode gets the attention it deserves, because I wasn't expecting this, not at all from this. It had action. In France, there was that one scene in the house. Remember, with the stunt guys flying through the windows and going down the stairs, and that was nuts. That was nuts. But this whole village, is destroyed. That's what I'm just saying it right now. I think it's destroyed. All right, so let's see, what else did we get here? Right after all this, there was it still kept going. That's right. I forgot. Even at that point, it wasn't over, because then Cowgirl was like, "Where's Roberto?" And Antonio is still fighting. He's like, "He's in the house." And then she goes in the house, and then there's a whole fight there with a bunch of these barbarian guys. And then Roberto throws one through a window. Shout out to a window scene, just like smash. I was like, when is this going to end? The only thing it's missing, the only thing that would have been like, all right, now this is epic, if they did a tracking shot. If they would have gone that route of a tracking shot, something that we've seen, let's say Game of Thrones, remember that finale episode where it was where with the wall and they were tracking over, panning, and you were seeing all the fighting as they were going around the area. I get that the timing, the budget, it would have been crazy, but just from the scene of going outside, seeing all the craziness with Daryl mowing down, then if they panned over and then we see Cowgirl talking to Antonio, it's like, where's Roberto? Inside, he points to the house. He's still fighting. Remember, he's fighting all these walkers and the barbarians. And then if over the shoulder of showing Cowgirl going into the house and then seeing from her perspective and seeing Roberto fighting and then her jump in, stab that guy. Then another person jumps on her and there's a whole big. This could have been amazing. This could have been amazing if they did that. I get it. Timing. It's a lot of work. Tracking shots, not easy. That's why shout out to 1917. That movie, that was a lot of camera work, but they made it seem like that whole thing was done in one shot. I love tracking shots. Well, even games. Remember God of War, right? The God of War. Over the shoulder tracking, same thing, Ragnarok tracking. Big fan of that. But anyway, big fan of this. A lot of chaos, but it looked like that was it. Once they're done, they're done. The mayor finds out that, hey, we got somebody. It's like, oh, what? You got one of these barbarians. That's when they interrogate, sit down. He doesn't want to give anything. Doesn't want to say really who they are. Where are you from? Nowhere. You know, it's like, who do you work for? That is the big part, right? Who do you serve? He kept saying, who do you serve? You know, and he's like, I'm not a waiter. What do you mean? And it's like, no, but he says, I serve who you serve. It's the same fool. Why? Why is this guy? Go ahead.
So here I need to interject because I heard it differently. It says you serve the Alcazar. I serve no one. That's what he said. That's what he said. Because I remember your reaction when you were like, "Oh, I knew it," and I'm like, "Oh no, I think you misheard it."
Isn't that the same guy? Because they even said it later on. It's like, why would he attack? He's doing the offerings because they even said it at the end. It was like, why would he do this to us? He just came and did the offerings, and we work with them. And then that's when the mayor was like, "No, we're going to keep the alliance." It was like, what?
No. Well, that so okay, so that's later on. So just to go back to the prisoner dude, he said he told the mayor, he said, you serve someone, you serve that guy, the Alcazar. Yeah, I serve no one, or we serve no one, or something like that. He said, and then going back to the flash forward point, Roberto was saying, why do we still serve them? They didn't protect us. And he said, well, because they got us all these guns. They got us all these bullets.
I think what threw me off is that name. I thought that was the name of that group, that boss leader. If that's not. Yeah. We've never heard. All right. Yeah. Because what's the name of that guy? Like his group? I don't remember.
Well, they're all part of the same group.
You see that? Yeah. So all right. So there we go.
The Savages, as far as we know, and as far as they've said throughout this whole episode and season, they're independents. The Savages.
And I think the other reason why I linked them all together is because of vehicles. They didn't have vehicles when they first showed up on the beach that time. They had the horses, but here they had the same vehicles that those other soldiers had that showed up with the offerings.
It could be that they're trying to sabotage them. It very well could be, but I feel it hasn't been sort of stated yet.
Yeah, I was just going to add, it hasn't been stated yet. I also do get the feeling that they are trying to sabotage them. And I will add in the other quick little detail about the fact that, all of this happened after Justina decided to sacrifice herself. They've been having these ceremonies for quite some time, but obviously there was something up with Justina.
Is it Christina or Justina?
No, it is Justina.
Justina, okay. like Justina.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, there you go. But all of this happens after she decides, okay, I'm going to go in place of the other person. That's why I say something is up with this character. There's more to that needs to be revealed, because it felt like they said, okay, in other words, they were holding out until they got her. Now they said, okay, now let's just burn this village to the ground. That's what it felt like to me. So I do want to see where they're going with the storytelling, because clearly, like I said, they've been doing these ceremonies. There've been other girls they've taken in, but all of a sudden, now that they got Justina, okay, now we don't need this village anymore. Let's just get rid of them. That's why I want to know where they're going with the storytelling right now.
Yeah. Unless it is about the boat. Because that's the only other difference here is that they did show up in that one episode. They saw the boat. They didn't do anything at the moment. They just grabbed whatever they could. But maybe they went and they told their boss, their higher ups, hey, found this boat that crashed. Like, all right, let's go and get that boat. It's like, yeah, but I think those people now are working with the mayor and all that. That's going to be a whole to-do. All right, let's just kill them all.
Yeah, and of course, and like you said, the Americans, Daryl and Carol. Clearly, we never saw them try to get payback on Daryl after that attack happened. So I would assume this is all connected. They said, so they're working with them now. Okay, we got to take everybody out.
Yeah, Rich, that's the only logical explanation. Well, the only logical explanation to justify this whole thing would be, it's like if the Savages are working with the other guys, then the only reason why the other guys want to mess with the people is because they think that they got rid of. Remember, because there's a couple of them that died during that party. So maybe they think, they did something. We need to get them back. Just make sure. Yep. So it could be that, but other than that, there's really no other logical reason that we know why they would want to sabotage them, since they're part of the same sort of enclave.
And then right after that was when we just brought up the whole thing where Roberto's screaming. It's like, hey, what's the point of protection? We've been giving all these girls, doing this whole thing, and we still get attacked. But the mayor's like, no, it's all right. It's everything's happened. We got to keep the alliance. It was like, come on.
Well, his explanation, I mean, it does make sense to an extent. I guess just depends on what you define defense, because the mayor said we wouldn't be able to defend ourselves with all these guns and all these bullets if it wasn't for them. So it's well, that was news for the viewers. I don't think we ever saw that when they came with the gifts. It was like booze and some other stuff. I didn't see boxes of weapons and ammo, so we didn't know that at the time. So it was a surprise even when that happened, when the mayor was handing out all those guns. I'm like, whoa, look at you keeping secrets. We didn't know you guys are rolling deep with all this stuff, but that explains it. But we'll see. We'll see what happens there. Right, but let's see. Oh man, that was a long one. Where are we up to now? I think this was when it's Antonio, right? Was it this? He's talking to Carol, trying to figure things out going on with Roberto. Roberto's. I think the next thing is Roberto leaving.
Well, that was it. They didn't know where he was. Right? They were like, they're talking about the plans, and then it was like, they found out somebody's leaving. That's what they said. They said, hey, somebody's escaping. I think that was the subtitle there. But turns out when Daryl runs over there with some other guys pointing weapons at this truck, he can see it's Roberto. And he tells the guy, put the guns down. No. But again, let's let him go. And they just let him drive off. Mayor's not cool with that. Is they were going to kill him. He's like, no, they were going to blow out the tire. They made some bullshit excuse. It's like, come on now. No, they were going to kill Roberto. Just let him do his own thing.
I do want to say something very quickly about that. I don't know where they're going with that. My theory is that guy that was going to kill Roberto is actually a mole working for the other people. Because he wasn't trying to stop the tires. He would have killed them. There's something up with that. I thought they were heading in that direction. I could be 100% wrong, because you even saw Daryl was like he was going to do something to the guy after he wouldn't stop. So I'm curious if that's going to be revisited later. We'll have to wait and see.
He definitely wasn't aiming for the tires, but he wanted to hit the brakes on his life.
Yeah.
Oh man. So
I don't know what's up with that guy. Maybe there could be tensions between the remember the mayor and Antonio have tensions, so maybe it has to do with that, or it, like Rich says, it could be maybe he's a double agent somehow and he's working for the other group, and sort of that's a possibility as well.
Oh yeah, but either way, we know exactly what's going to happen here. once Roberto takes off, well, his dad wants to go after him. We know what's happening. He's gonna go try to get Justina back. That whole thing's gonna happen. Carol says, "Hey, I'm going with you." Right, Daryl, we're going, and Daryl just walks away. He's like, "Oh man." She has a conversation with him, trying to figure this out. It's like, we got to do this. No, we don't got to do any of this stuff. And the typical back and forth. But we know what's going to happen here because once Carol's like, "All right, goodbye," he's like, "Yeah, bye," and then she leaves. And then he said, "No, I'm going. I'll go." Of course you're going to go. You're not going to let something happen to Carol. You didn't make it this far and then just let her go. And what happens? He's waiting, and Antonio comes back. It's like, "Where's Carol?" Oops, should have been there. This thing came out, walked, grabbed her by the neck. Oh, it was disgusting. I got blood on my shirt. It was so bad. You should have been there. You would have been in the back seat. You would have shot the guy before he grabbed, but you did it. It's on you. Yeah, he played the guilt. That's what would happen. I don't think anybody. There's some things that happen in this universe that you know instantly what's going to happen next, and this is it. I knew there's no way that Daryl's going to let Carol go alone, especially with Antonio. We don't know if Antonio could even fight. Wasn't that the joke that the mayor said when Antonio says, "Yeah, I'm going to go at them"? It was like, well, when was the last time you left this village? Right? Yeah, you step even close to the side, you make it seem like there's a force field. Like, "Oh, my foot, I can't." Right? Oh, I gotta go back inside and watch my movies. So yeah.
He's got a lot of classics he still needs to catch up to. So,
well, then there you go. He should have brought that out. He's like, "What do you mean I don't leave? Don't you see my movie collection? Where do you think I get all those films from?" He had to go around somewhere outside of town.
It could be.
Right. So I think here we had a little quick flash. It was going back and forth at this point here. So we get with Daryl has to be cool. He can't be in a truck with everybody. He has to be on a motorcycle that makes the most noise, but he's on it anyway, right? It's Daryl finds a motorcycle. So he's on a motorcycle. Carol's riding shotgun with Antonio. They're headed down. They get to one point where it's like a fork in the road. It's dark. At this point, I even said, I was like, "Oh, they're gonna split up, right?" But no, Daryl gets up. I was like, "All right, he went down this way." I found all the tracks. I'm like, "All right, look at you. You are a master tracker." So they go down that road, but then we get a quick jump to the mayor. They were like, "What are we gonna do with this guy?" "Oh, I got an idea what we're gonna do with him." And they basically feed him to the walkers. Now they got walkers for days because most of the people in the village have been turned. I was expecting more crying. When something like this happens, right? A lot of death in the time. Just throw the crying track. You don't even have to have real actors to just put scream and all that. Throw in the typical baby crying noise in the background that always pulls the feels out of people with kids. Like, "Oh, did the kid's parents die?" But we don't hear anything. It's kind of still quiet, right? Even after all of this, it's like, all right, we're just gonna, this guy's gonna die.
I was expecting torture.
That could have been a thing. Yeah, why not? Torture him, do something. They did torture the other dude. Remember? Well, the other guy that spoke out of line because he was upset that they took his daughter or niece or something like that. Remember?
Yep.
Part of the other one. They strung him up and they started torturing. So yeah, why not just string him up open like that and then release the walker so he just dies by 1,000 bites?
Well, enough about your fantasies.
Oh, there we go. I can keep my fantasies. Hold on, I'll write them down on my phone. That's for later. All right. So then they get to a location. There's Daryl, Carol, and Antonio. And this I don't get. Maybe you guys can fill this in. Because out of all this junk that they see the truck there, but they see the compass that that Roberto gave Justina on the ground. How close are they? Because it didn't look like they reached the compound of where that guy was. So,
well, they showed Justina in camp somewhere. I guess she was on her way there. So she was in a camp, and that's when Roberto made contact.
So I guess all right. So I saw that real quick, but I didn't see. I thought we were going to get a follow of like Roberto fighting and doing so. It didn't seem like that happened. And then next thing we see, there's no one around, and there's just the compass on the ground.
Yeah, my guess is they got captured, and now this is what will happen in the next episode: is that Carol, Daryl, and
Antonio.
Antonio will have to find them. That's what my guess is. But they have to use the compass to try to figure things out. You know, and Daryl is good at tracking people down. So
he's gonna smell it. He's gonna smell it. Feel like it doing down that road, that bush right there. He's gonna have to track it down. But it just brings a bunch of questions on that part. Because we know that he's part of a bigger community, the boss or whatever, right? We don't know who she was married off to. Wasn't to that guy. It's going to be to somebody else, but we don't know where he lives. Roberto, all right, fine. Let's say you found him, and let's say, yeah, we saw that one scene where Justina was looking outside, but what she just looked at the window and he was throwing pebbles and like, come on down, let's go. You know, like I guess he knew where he was going. Is my point, and we didn't know. It can't be that far either because he was able to reach there within hours.
Yeah.
So,
and how Roberto was able to find them, within a day. Hey,
that's
you must be better than Daryl at tracking.
Yeah. Unless they explain in the next episode, then this is all a waste. But it could have been that, or maybe they pulled over to camp because it's going to be a long commute back to wherever they're from. And then Roberto found their camp. He saw the smoke or whatever campfire, and then he snuck around and saw her. And said,
that could happen.
Yeah.
Or they could find my.
Yeah, I'm just filling in the blanks, but then who knows? And then they're like, hey, well, the next episode answers all of that. So, and I think that was it. That was the ending, right? Unless I'm missing anything else, that was it. The compass. Now they got to go find. All the action and stuff is crazy. We weren't expecting that, but this was what we were expecting. Once Justina gave herself up as the bride there, we knew it was going to be a story of Roberto trying to get her back. Carol was going to go, which was going to pull Daryl in. So they did a roundabout way, but they got to the result that we were all expecting. I'm still surprised by that fight. Oh, man. That was an epic fight. But overall, I've really enjoyed this episode. This has been the strongest episode for the storytelling, for the cinematography, for the special effects, for the fighting, the choreography with all the fights. There was a lot of it. It wasn't like fast cuts of just like, oh, two guys bumping into each other. Cut that. Another guy on the floor. Cut that. No, it was like you're seeing the grab around the neck, stab here, stab in the eye, shoot this one. Guy jumps over it, falls on this other one. He gets stabbed. Oh, it was a lot going on that even in the background. So when you had two center frame characters fighting it out, you could still see there was combat behind them happening. So it wasn't like, all right, just camera focus. There was a lot going on, and that's what we were getting, those other camera shots of all the action, all simultaneously happening. Fantastic. I hope people appreciate all the work that went into this, because I'm sure there was a lot.
Yeah, man. I hope we get more episodes like this, at the very least for the penultimate or finale episode, because this was good.
This was good. I still don't trust the mayor. I don't think the mayor is going to have a change of heart. We don't know the whole situation with Antonio and all that stuff, but we know he doesn't care much about him. And then even at the end, he had blamed the Americans for all this. I'm like, oh, this is all your fault. This is all you're doing. Everything was nice and peaceful before you came along. So I don't think he's going to come to their rescue. If anything, he's upset. Because he said by Roberto going over there, getting Justina, that's going to mess up the alliance. That's not the deal. You don't do that. But hey, it's going to happen anyway. They don't care. And we'll see. There's a few more episodes still to come. But yeah, overall, if I'm going to give this, because I've been doing this for a while, but let's say on a scale of 1 to 10, I'm going to give this a good 9. This was a very unexpected. This was when we saw the montage of the boat, I was like, oh, they're filler. This is filler. They probably don't have a lot going on, and we're gonna get this, because that montage of them building, fixing the boat, that was pretty lengthy. That was a good 3-4 minutes of just like, playing the music, showing them fixing. Okay, we get it. But no, there was a lot of action in this, and a lot of story building, and now we see what's happening here on both fronts with the town and with Roberto and all this stuff. So yeah, I give it a 9. What about you, Rich? What are you giving it?
Yeah, I also have to say a 9 too. Yeah, this definitely was probably the best episode so far this season.
Carlos.
I would give this a 9, a Richard Bailey 9. Because this has probably been one of, if not the best episode on all the spin-offs so far.
Yeah.
It had everything. It didn't have as much of the emotion part, but that's fine. Probably get that on some other ones. We'll probably grieve Cooper some other episode, but the action, it had everything. So shout out to them. This was a good episode.
Yep. And shout out again to the writers just sticking to their guns with the character of Daryl Dixon. He has not really, we always hear about this in shows like, oh, characters need to grow, right? They need to grow. They need to change, evolve with the audience. No. And he has not grown. He has not changed. I know Walking Dead proper, they tried to sort of put him in the Rick role when Rick left. But they did it with his own way. He didn't get as soft with things. And we see it here. If Rick was here, Rick would want to solve all the problems, right? He would want to help Roberto, Justina, the lady that lost her cat. He would want to solve everybody's problem. And
he's never going to give you up.
He's never going to let you down. That's the whole thing with Rick. Rick was he was a sheriff, right? That's what he's there to serve, protect. He was playing that role to the very end. But no, Daryl, not that guy, and never wanted to be that guy. He looked out for Judith and stuff, for people he loved, but no, he never really jumped into that. It was a big sell, I guess, even to push with Isabel, and then she died, and now he's even more hardened. Now that heart is not just locked away; it's got a padlock. It's dropped in cement. There's nothing getting through that. That's it. Not even for. Yeah, he cares about Carol, but no, that's not wifey or anything. No, not happening. He just wants to get on that boat to get back to the States to do who knows what. Because what is he really gonna do? That we don't know. Because remember, when he had everything good with the Commonwealth, he got on his bike and he took off. And we get it. It's for the show. But what are you going to do? Are you going to go back to the States and it's going to be that same type of deal? It's like I in my head, and there's a shout out for those who know old movies from the Warriors. Right at the very end, they hit Stillwell Avenue. You got Swan and the girl, and he looks out and he's like, this is what we fought back to get back to. What? Maybe I'll just take off. Like, what was the point? And I could see Daryl saying that. Once they get back to the States, they see more walkers, more overgrown areas. It was like, this is what we fought back to get back to? Maybe I'll just get on a bike that I found here and just take off again. You know what I'm saying? And then, Carol, you could try to track me down again. We'll do this all over again. I don't know. But, yeah, go ahead in the comments. What did you guys think of this episode? Did you like it? You loved it? If you didn't like it, don't comment. Only if you love it. Because then you're a true fan, because a true Walking Dead fan would have loved this episode. This was a fantastic episode. This is what we want. This is what we wanted to see. Not just more walkers and conflict with humans. We get that. But just some variety. The walking, flaming walkers and people dying and then coming out, reanimate. That was fantastic. And with the nonstop mowing them down, it's just like an endless supply of these guys just running through. Oh, it was great. All right, everybody. So thanks again for checking us out here on the Koalition on YouTube, also on koalition.com, and we will be back for episode 5 next week. Peace.
Deuces.